Hi, and welcome to another episode of PawTube, a Pause and Read initiative focused on canine health and well-being. Joining me on today's PawTube is Vijita Moray, and we are going to be discussing some of the things to remember when you have a multi-pet household. A very warm welcome to PawTube, Vijita. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Rupkata, for having me over. It's really nice to see you here.
To get the conversation started, why don't you tell me about your pack? It's quite a large pack. Why don't you introduce your pets to me? And if you could also say, do they live in harmony with each other?
To be honest, at this point of time, I've lost track of how many pets I have in the house because they're just growing by the day. But yes, to answer the first question, we have Chloe, my 10-year-old Angora. To begin with, she's the queen of the house. Established rule, everybody has accepted that she's a queen, and she asserts all her rights on everyone all the time. Then is my prized possession, Tyson. I just love him. Yeah. He's my boy. Tyson is 8.
I love him without even meeting him.
And then we have Tigi, whom I rescued from my workshop a couple of years back. She will turn 2 in a few days' time. She's Arabian Mau. And then I have my latest rescue, Tai Lung, who's going to turn 1 shortly. And I have my 2 pet tortoises, Toto and Olive. I'm not very sure about the ages, but from what the vet has told me, depending on the size and everything, they are around 2 years approximately. And I've had them for over a year now.
Okay.
I have more than 400 fishes. I have 2 large fish tanks with all sorts of tetras, discuses, angels. And we recently had one entire lot of angel babies who were born in the tank. So yes, we have a huge fish tank with so many fishes. So yes, this is my pack for now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what about the fish? I remember you told me one of your daughters rescued a goldfish, I guess, from or a fighter fish.
Yeah, yes, a fighter fish.
Yeah. Yes. And of course, Vijita, you had Max as well.
Yes. We lost Max at the beginning of this year. She turned 8 3 days before she passed away, and we lost her to 4th stage kidney failure. Her case was a bit complicated because it was not just kidney failure. She had polycystic kidney disease and so much more, which added on to her existing issues. And it was extremely painful seeing her suffer. And, we lost her in Jan. Yes, Jan.
I'm really sorry once again, Vijita. But yes, he is pain-free right now, I'm pretty sure. Going on to some of the things to do consciously and some of the things to remember in a multi-pet household, especially because you want all your pets to be safe and happy, right, in their environment.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you consciously plan for and do?
Very, very essential in a multi-pet household to have designated areas for them, especially for their food, which is a big must, because everybody is food aggressive for some reason, like they've not been fed in ages. And even though they eat all day, they still have this food aggression for some reason. And not just between different species, but their own species also. Like all the 3 cats can have a big fight over food for no reason. So yes, designated areas for them to rest as well as for them to eat. And very, very important that there are times when everybody wants to be all by themselves, so let them be. If they want to go back and sit in the crate, okay. So keep crates and, small enclosures where if they want, they can just go and, retreat for a while. So that's very, very important, I feel.
You have the space to sort of segregate areas for your tortoises who actually need a very specific kind of environment to thrive.
Yes.
UV lamps and their own green area perhaps. Then you have the
Yes. Yes.
cats. They need their scratch poles and the other stuff. You
Yes.
have Tyson on the other hand, who unlike Frenchies is quite calm.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he comes across as very, very calm. So how do you mindfully create these spaces? And also, importantly, if somebody doesn't have access to such spaces, is it all right for them to still have multi-species pets at home or not?
See, for a tortoise, it is great if they have a garden. But if not, then like I have a balcony where I have made a large enclosure and
Mhm.
I've utilized the entire balcony for him. So I know for a fact that yes, that space is good enough and I don't feel guilty. Now,
Mhm.
if a person doesn't have access to a garden, a good, big, large enclosure is good enough.
Mhm.
They don't need mud bedding. So yes, I've provided that. I've got a small grassy patch put for him, and we have a lot of plants that we've grown so that he can eat the leaves, flowers, everything. So yes, like I said, if people do not have the access to provide the regular, required environment, we can create one. There are times
Mhm.
when we can create and there are times when we can't, but we can try. We can definitely try and create.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because it's best that they kept in the sunlight so they can absorb vitamin D. So I have left him out in the balcony. He does come inside every day for a couple of hours when we soak him in the water. So
Okay.
yes, he comes in and he's inside the controlled temperature also. And for the cats, wall mount furniture that we make is the best, because I feel that in smaller houses there is hardly space for people to move around these days. And if we honestly see, the pets do require their own space. It could be for their jumping around, exercising, scratching, and wall mount furniture provides the best exercise, I feel, plus the best space to go and relax. If they don't
Mhm.
want to be disturbed by anybody, they can go in on their own and just relax on their own somewhere. So
Mhm.
in a multi-pet household, I feel that's a very, very important aspect that we overlook many times. But everybody needs their own space and we need to provide that to them.
Mhm.
So even amongst the cats, when they don't want others to disturb, they go and hide in one of the boxes. um, Providing them wall mount scratch posts saves all the furniture, and jumping around all day utilizes the energy part. So they are all that all is looked into. And providing a nice crate. I don't know why people have a lot of negative ideas about crate, because they feel that it's like a sort of a jail where the dog is kept, but they don't realize that the dog on his own could also need that kind of space. There's so many dogs who are anxious. There's so many of them who come from different backgrounds, maybe gone through abuse, so much more, and they are very happy when we give them their own secluded space where they can go and
Mhm.
relax on their own. So crate training, I think, is an amazing aspect. Sometimes it helps even when we have a multi-pet household and we need to feed them. So feeding times they can
Yeah.
be there. When we have guests over and they are not very comfortable in the presence of the pets. So that is the time the pets can go. The pets may not be comfortable in the presence of unknown people, strangers. So I think that's also a perfect time where they can go and relax in the crate. So I feel having a crate, it not necessarily a crate, but a small enclosed area where they feel safe is very, very important for dogs as
Different species, different diets.
well.
Uh,
Yes.
how do you sort of plan for that, and how do you, give them a balanced diet?
Believe me, I am still trying to understand that myself,
Crack the code.
because it's a struggle, it's a challenge in my house. You call one cat and all the three are standing right in front of your face like they've never been fed and they all are starving, where they've just eaten 10 minutes back. And yes, more than different species, even same species, age related diet is extremely essential, which I realized after we lost Max. Honestly, Max's problem taught us so many things that we were not aware of, and investing in good quality food is so very essential to prevent so many old age diseases. So
Mhm.
yes, I have moved them all to doctor recommended diets, and everybody is eating age appropriate diets. For example, Chloe, who's 10 years plus, is eating pre-renal. Tai Lung, who has a sensitive stomach, because when I rescued him, he had giardia, and ever since he has a sensitive stomach where he cannot digest most of the things. So he's on digestive food. And then Tiggy, she's gaining a lot of weight in the house, so she's on a calorie restricted diet. So for me, I have to feed them separately so that they don't eat each other's, because they love each other's food. They just don't want to eat their own. So yes, it's a bit of a struggle, but I feel that if we train them, or give them food in different areas and create pleasant experiences with the area, so they know, okay, fine, this is my feeding space, and at this time I will be given. It takes time for them to understand, and a lot of patience on our part as well. But I feel it can be worked around. Tyson's food, nobody's interested in the dog food, so he's safe for now. And the cats are fed high up, so okay, fine. Tyson also doesn't try to eat their food. And for the tortoise, yes, he eats a lot of greens as instructed by the vet. And we've started growing so many more plants so that we can feed him fresh hibiscus flowers and leaves. Then he eats petunia plants, and he eats so much more. So we grow so many things just to feed Toto and Olive. So it's like, for both of them, Olive is not very experimental. She likes basic standard stuff, but Toto, yeah, he loves eating a lot of variety. So it's nice. It's nice feeding him. And investing in good quality food for the pets is very, very essential, because the right diet prevents a lot of health issues, and it's so very important.
Absolutely.
Think, yes.
And the earlier you start, better it is, rather than course correcting later.
Exactly. So yes, everybody is on different diet in the household, each and every pet of mine. And it was a bit of a challenge initially when we started with 3 separate food groups for the 3 cats, but slowly, yeah, we mastered it. We are mastering it. We're getting there.
But I am very curious to know one thing. So when it's treat time for your pets, okay, so you call them to play with them a little bit, give them a treat. Does it break into fights? And I would like to particularly understand the equation between Tyson and the cats.
See, the thing is, Tyson and Chloe spent 8 years together. Ever since Tyson came, Chloe was there. It was an established fact, and they both kind of accepted the fact that Chloe has the upper hand and she's the queen, and that she hated him from day one, which was again accepted by Tyson also.
But there was no aggression, right?
Nasty, no. Her hatred was limited to the nasty stares, and once in a while, that snap, once in a while. But beyond that, nothing. But ever since Chloe is joined by her 2 sidekicks, the younger lot, Tai Lung and Tigi, they both have been very mean to Tyson. And there are times where, yes, there have been small fights that have, started because of food, but very much in control, nothing major. We have tried and separated, like I told you, designated areas for everything. So yes, even for treats, Tyson is taken out. We play with him and he's given his treats. So a bit of running around, and then filling it in his Kong and giving him. So he has his own area where he'll sit, he'll play. And when he's interacting with us, I avoid the cats being there in that room. So that way we prevent the fights. But amongst the cats themselves, no, there are no fights as such. They're pretty okay.
Have you ever felt underconfident to leave them alone at home when there's no one? If you do that, do you consciously sort of let them stay in different rooms in the house?
No, I have honestly, in these last 10 years that I've had them all, never had that issue. Yes, when I had these new rescues over, I did not initially leave them with the rest of the pack till they were completely introduced, well settled. So yes, at those times, I used to leave them alone in a separate room. They would be kept away for shorter periods of time, not for a longer period of time. But yes, till I was completely certain that they are comfortable with the rest of the pack. Until and unless I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't approach Olive and Toto, the tortoises, at all, right?
Their interactions are pretty pleasant. They have no problem with them whatsoever. They go occasionally sniff, and they just ignore them basically. All the cats, even Tyson, and there are times that they sit around, but there is no such interaction with them. And I think the tortoise is also comfortable with the pets because they know that these guys are around, but they won't do anything. So perfectly all right with them.
And what about your fish? Because cats are, hunters.
Because the big fish tank is out of their reach, so they know that okay there's nothing. Tai Lung loves sitting and staring at the fishes all day. He can do that. And the small fish bowls where we have the rescued fishes, we have plenty all around the house. He loves sitting and watching the fishes. He even drinks water from the fish bowls, but he's never tried to attack any of them.
Okay. Vijita, another very, very important thing is consciously budgeting for pet health and well-being. More so if it's a multi-pet household like yours. Like you were saying, different kind of food, age-appropriate food, also certain dietary restrictions, and there must be so many other things. How important is it to budget for all of these?
Honestly, I didn't understand the importance of budgeting before I added so many. But honestly, yes, budgeting is very, very important because there can be so many unexpected expenses that can come up with even a tiniest issue. For example, an emergency vet visit anytime. When Tyson had this allergic reaction to something in the middle of the night and had to rush him to the doctor. And then there was this time when he fractured his tooth while eating a chewy, and we didn't realize and his mouth was bleeding. So things like this can create so much of stress. And yes, unwanted and uncalled for visits to the vet can be a big hit in the budget sometimes. So yes, having pets is a very expensive affair in the UAE. I feel it's not at all cheap. So yes, making a conscious decision and keeping aside a certain amount is very, very important, I feel.
And that could be
Max's illness, where there were so many things that were needed, blood tests every other day and so much more. So yes,
very crucial. And that could be as small as a few hundreds of dirhams, and then you sort of keep building up that amount, at least start somewhere.
Yes, definitely, yes.
And my last question to you, Vijita, I'm sure there are several humans out there, there are several households out there that are sort of considering adopting pets of different species. Can you please share some tips for them? If they are hesitant, how can they overcome their hesitance? How can they feel confident about adopting pets of different species, but also consciously ensure that, the pets have the right environment to thrive?
Yeah. See, I feel that multi-pet household is amazing because they have one another for company. That's what I feel. It's always better to have more than one because one pet alone can be very lonely at times. Yes, but the right kind of introduction when we bring in a new pet, it could be a rescue or whoever, is very, very important. It takes time, it takes patience, and many times owners do not give the time, give the kind of effort, and they try and hurry up in introducing two pets together or one pack to the rest of the one pet to the rest of the pack. And that is the time when it can be a problem, because proper introduction is very, very essential. Giving them their time to open up, giving them the time, and while this introduction is going on, it's very, very essential to be very observant, mindful of so many tiny details, because one wrong move and everything can go back to square one. So I feel proper introduction is very essential. If a pet comes from abused background or something and needs a little more time, needs more effort, I feel it's very important to take external help. It could be in the form of a trainer, animal specialist, something, handler. It's very, very important to take help. Budgeting, of course, definitely, because the more number of pets, yes, more added expense. So keeping in mind that yes, one day we may go back to our home country, or any unforeseen, expenditure can come up, and at that point of time we cannot say no. So yes, budgeting from day one when we introduce a new pet to the household is very, very important. And I feel also, yes, giving them designated areas in the household, because just putting them all together would be so much like holding them all without giving them their own space, without giving them their own, um, privacy. I think even, yeah, they also need their own privacy. So yes, that is also one very important thing. So these are the things which I feel, and a lot of love, that's what they all look for. So I think, yeah, lots of love, and yes, we're good to go.
I couldn't agree more, Vijita. This has been such a heartening conversation. Thank you so much once again for joining me.